here. That is right. Week 16 is here. We got the Rams taking on the Saints. We got a little bit of fact. What's mixed in with a little bit of crap? It is Fact or Crap Thursday here. Are the Dallas Cowboys are in a must-win situation? Jacksonville Jaguars are nothing without Trevor Lawrence. Are the Detroit Lions the least dominant team in the playoff picture? All that, much, much more. But first.
And now, Mike's Thoughts.
No one gives a crap about Mike's thoughts, so I'm stealing this one today. I'm new to the area and where I live. I posted on the Facebook page of the town that I live in, looking for a basketball league. I ended up finding a pickup league. This is, yesterday was my second time playing. I was told that you call your own fouls. So after having cuts on my hand and just absolutely being shack attacked, I decided that I had enough. I don't normally drive strong to the hoop because I don't want to injure anyone. But after being held by my jersey so I can't get around picks and whatnot, I thought that I would give my defender a good old Euro step. And unfortunately, I broke his nose last night, gushing blood. And he wanted to get up and say it was an offensive charge. I'm sorry, sir, but you did not plant your feet. And you've been not calling your own fouls, so have fun at the hospital. Have a nice day.
Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that that's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour Show on manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well, because it is week 16 NFL, guys. We only have 3 games left in the regular season, and my golly, it's going to be a grand old time. It is Fact or Crap Thursday here. We do got the Saints take on the Rams tonight, but we do have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the Mr. I want to play basketball even though I'm 5'5", 165 pounds, Mr. John. Middle is open, Hoffy. What's up, Hoffy?
What's up, Michael Buckheister? What's up, Man Hour Nation? And just an FYI, I am 5'10", 183 pounds.
Oh, bulking up, baby. Bulk season. Let's go. Ooh, whoa. We don't want to get fined with those guns. You got permits for those things?
I did. I had to take my safety course on Monday. I passed, so I am allowed to carry.
You are allowed
concealed and all.
Carry. I love it. I love it. I love it. But guys, it is Thursday edition, December 21st, right here at manhourradio.com. Of course, manhour.com. I am drawing on myself. That's weird. I'm not wearing any pants, and I just drew like a pen all over my thigh because I thought I was scratching, but I wasn't. So yeah, I got blue ink all over my body. But we do have the Rams taking on the Saints tonight, Hoffy. And of course, we got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. We got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the best team in the NFL. But guys, if you haven't done so already, we're not talking about the Niners. We're not talking about the Ravens. We're talking about the Dolphins. We're talking about the best team in the Dallas Cowboys, Hoffy. The best team.
Get out of town.
Put some respect on their name. But guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. And of course, hit that share button as well, because sharing is caring, and we are very polite people, and we want to share the wealth. Hoffy, Christmas is right around the corner. What, we're like 5 days away, right? 4 days away? Something like that. What is some Christmas things that you guys do in your household every year? Like a Christmas tradition.
Presents.
Besides that, you Jew.
Normally the night before Christmas, we go on a little horse-drawn carriage ride through this farm. There's all kinds of, little lights. I forget exactly what it's called, town of lights or whatever. And then at the end, you end at Santa's workshop. You get to see Santa Claus and all of his reindeer and feed them. So that is one Christmas tradition that we do that is a lot of fun, especially for the kids.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I definitely love a good Christmas light show. It kind of gets the juices flowing, right? Because to be honest, I have not been in the Christmas spirit at all this year. I don't know if it's because of work stress or home stress. I don't know. I've not been in the spirit at all. But maybe we need to go see some Christmas lights. Maybe that will get the juices flowing with the Christmas spirit. Of course, it's like 65 degrees outside today. What? That's not Christmas weather. I want it snowing, icing. I want a freaking ice storm. Give me ice storm with no power for about 4 days. That'd be perfect. Perfecto. Got Arthur Brown in the chat. What's up, Arthur Brown? Good morning, good sir. Be out there safe on the roads. Hopefully you get home for the holidays and come home to that beautiful lady of yours. Woof. Talk about jealousy. Jealous of Arthur Brown's beautiful lady, man. Woo, buddy. We can't say that, can we? Well, it is what it is. But guys, we do have a Thursday night football game tonight. We have the Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. This whole NFL season, I don't care about week 17. I don't care about week 18. It all comes down to Thursday night, week 16 for these two teams. Both of these teams have playoffs beliefs and feelings and thinking they can get in. Right now, the Rams are sitting at, 7-7, and the Saints are sitting at 7-7 as well. Right now, the Rams are sitting the 7th seed, and the Saints are on the outside looking in. But they do have a really good shot of winning that division right now. When we look at it, if the Rams were to lose tonight, they drop down to a 15% chance of making the playoffs. And if they win, they jump up to a 72% chance of making the playoffs. On the flip side of the coin, the Saints, if they lose tonight, they have a 23% chance of making the playoffs. And if they win, they get a 70% chance of the playoffs. So, Hoffy, I got to ask you the question first, as he is not here anymore. So we're not going to ask Hoffy the question first. But, guys, I got to ask the question. Who needs this game more? Who needs to win this game more? Is it the Rams or is it the Saints? Because when we look at this game, the Rams' schedule moving forward, they play the Giants and 49ers following this Thursday night game, and then the Saints play the Bucks and Falcons. Guys, I think it all comes down to the LA Rams. There's so much pressure on the LA Rams tonight to win this game because the Saints, even if they do lose, they can still win their division, right? They still have an opportunity to beat the Buccaneers. They have an opportunity to beat the Atlanta Falcons. If they win those two games, they win their division. Now the Bucs are playing well, right? The Falcons are still battling, but at that particular point, come week 18, they're probably going to be done. They're starting Taylor Heineke this week versus the Colts, and Taylor Heineke has done some magic in the playoffs, but regular season he's kind of meh. But when we look at this game fully, the Rams, their defense is just not very good. They're giving up 19 points, or they're 19th in the points allowed this season, but their offense is 11th. Their offense is clicking. Offense looks good. Hell, the team looks good right now. They have won 4 of their last 5. Their only loss has come to the Baltimore Ravens, 37-31. Heck of a battle. Heck of a battle. And the Saints, mediocre on every aspect of the board right now. 16th in offensive passing, 19th in offensive of rushing. However, their defense is only giving up 19 points per game, giving them 6th overall in the NFL. So when it comes down to it, I think the Rams need this game more. I think Mike Jeff nailed it right on the head. What's up, Mike? Actually, it is Jeff, right? He thinks the Rams need it more, and I think he is spot on. Because the Rams, I don't think they're going to beat the 49ers. I mean, they could. 49ers could already have the number 1 seed locked up at that particular time. They could be playing for a whole lot of nothing. backup quarterback, backup running back, backup offensive lineman, backup wide receivers. The Rams could up and sneak them up. The Giants have a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs, so their playoff hopes are going to be pretty much gone at that point, right? After they lose to the Eagles this weekend. Although I'm pulling for an upset, pulling for that massive upset, but it is what it is. But the Rams need this game more. Guys, let me know in the comments, who do you think needs this game more? Is it the Rams or is it the Saints? And why? This is a live interactive show, so if you guys got some comments, bring it up. Just like my man Carson Lang said here. He said, hey girl, what's up? He says, I need some of that shit you were drinking when you made those power rankings. Well, I was all jacked up on Mountain Dew and birthday cake Pop-Tarts. Birthday cake Pop-Tarts send you over the edge, man. You want magic in your mouth? Put those birthday cake cupcakes in your mouth. Woo, baby. But with those power rankings show, we were about 30 minutes into the show. My OBS decided to kick me off. It was freaking stupid. So we got to the top, 7 or 6 or so, or something like that. But it is what it is. We got John Peoples in the chat. He says Saints because Tampa's playing good football right now. Tampa is playing well. Tampa Bay is a team that you don't really know what team you're going to get. If you flash back to the first 4 games of the season, we're like, oh my God, this team is good. Super Bowl, baby. And then the middle of the season, they're like, yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. Last game, Baker Mayfield, the only quarterback ever to have a perfect QBR, go and get a Lambeau Field. What? Hoffy, by the way, you are frozen. I can only see you and I hear static, so I just want to let you know. And then Jeff says, airmail me some. Airmail you some birthday cupcakes, Pop-Tarts, and Mountain Dew. I mean, the Mountain Dew will be nice and cold flying up there, but I don't think the Pop-Tarts will be surviving. But Wayne G's in the chat. He says Rams had the number 1 defense when Stanley was the DC. He's looking for a job now. Give him a call, he says.
Hell no.
Hell no, he says. Hoffy says, hell no. Listen, he was supposed to be a defensive guru, right? He was supposed to be this guy that was like, hey, let's make magic happen. Hoffy, let me ask you this question. You said hell no to Staley being the defensive coordinator at the Rams. Should the Rams let go of their defensive coordinator? I mean, they are, what's the stats I'm looking for here? They are 19th in points allowed this season.
And they're going to hire who? The gentleman that gave up 42 points on the first half?
As a head coach, not a defensive coordinator.
I don't give 2 shits. The guy gave up 42 points to a team that didn't score a single point the week before in the first half. 63 total points, and defense was supposed to be his specialty. So I understand as a head coach there's more, he's got more on his plate, but then again, Matt Patricia, I mean, he was, he failed miserably with New England, and he's, now with Philadelphia, but I mean, same gentleman that also gave up, a 2-minute drive, 92 yards, no timeouts. So I'm sure douche Staley will get a job, but if the Patriots if the Patriots or my Dolphins or my San Francisco 49ers, I mean, no thank you.
Chiefs or your Cowboys or your Packers.
Yeah. No, send him to the Cowboys. Fire Dan Quinn and hire douche Staley. That's
Why would the Cowboys fire Dan Quinn? That's the dumbest thing you ever heard coming out of your mouth. But Carson Lang says it doesn't matter between the Saints or the Rams. The game doesn't matter tonight because the Saints or the Buccaneers, because they aren't going to go very far in the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking about playoffs. Listen, there are times, Carson, when a team, Seattle Seahawks 2013, think that we're not going to go very far in the playoffs. They shouldn't even be in the playoff picture. but they go in there and they get a home game and they win a playoff game. Hell, they make it to the NFC Championship game. If the Dallas Cowboys, let's say they get the 5th overall seed, which I think they'll be a number 1 overall seed, spoiler alert.
False.
If they get the 5th hit the Cowboys get the 5th seed and they got to travel to New Orleans or to Tampa Bay, the Dallas Cowboys are a terrible team on the road, so they could do some noise. And the NFL is all about confidence. You get the confidence that, hey, we beat the best team in the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys. We beat the team that was supposed to win the Super Bowl and the Dallas Cowboys. Cloud 9, baby. Any given Sunday, or this particular case, any given Saturday, bada bing, bada boom. I feel that any team that makes the playoffs this season can legitimately make a playoff run or make a Super Bowl run. This is how wide open the playoffs are this year, Hoffy. Do you agree with that at all?
Yes and no.
Well, that's a perfect
if
answer.
we're looking at it realistically, it looks... You're not going to agree with me, and you call me a homer because I lived in San Francisco for quite a bit of time, but I think that San Francisco is a clear favorite, but as we say and as we've seen this year, any given Sunday, as far as the AFC, it looks like, the Ravens are the clear-cut favorite, but again, then you have the Chiefs in there, and you can never count the Chiefs out. But I'm I still would like to see some good things from the Miami Dolphins, but, can we trust them yet? It's a product of what have you done lately per se, and they haven't been there, so they haven't been able to do it. So are they going to be able to? But yeah, I would not be surprised if we, I don't think anyone thought that the Bengals and Joe Burrow would be in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when they did. And they surprised a lot of people. And since then it's, they made us all believers of them. So maybe this, like you said, is the year where we see one of those teams take that step, get into the Super Bowl and start to, be a team that can either contend in the NFC with teams like the 49ers or in the AFC and contend with a team like the Kansas City Chiefs and give them, a run for their money every year.
Yeah, it would not surprise me one bit if the Pittsburgh Steelers slide into the playoffs and make a Super Bowl run at all.
Hell no, absolutely not.
I mean, we've seen it.
You got a better chance of seeing Joe Flacco and the Browns. Joe Cool.
Wouldn't that be something? Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cleveland Browns at AFC Championship game?
No. I want a Browns versus Ravens AFC Championship.
Well, Browns will win that one. Sorry, Ant. Arthur Brown says, it's more important for the Rams to stay in the race because they had me fooled. I thought they were tanking for the first half of the season. I think many people thought they were, quote, tanking, Arthur Brown, but let's just be honest. They were injured, right? Cooper Kupp was out for first 6 weeks of the season. Their running back, can't think of his name right now. He was kind of out as well, kind of healing from his off-season surgery that he had. Hell, they, like at one point in the season, they brought in Daryl Henderson back because they thought that Cam Akers was going to be done, right? The Rams
Stafford was coming off of his injury.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so the Rams are getting hot at the right time, just like the Buffalo Bills. They're getting hot at the right time. I mean, it is very hard to stay at peak performance all 18-game season plus a 3-game playoff, right? It's very, very hard to be at your peak performance 24 weeks out of the season or like out of the year. So the Rams are getting hot at the right time. The Buffalo Bills are getting hot at the right time. Hell, you can say that, I don't know, maybe the Eagles might be getting hot at the right time. I mean, they run a 3-game skid, get right game versus the Giants, dominant game versus the Cardinals, another get right game versus the Giants. Bada bing, bada boom, they could be in the Super Bowl too, right? Browns, Bengals, right? There are a lot of teams getting hot at the right time. So I do concur that it is more important for the Rams because despite if the Saints still lose, they can still beat the Bucs and they can still beat the Falcons and still win that division and still get in. John Peoples over here on the YouTube channel says Baker's making good decisions these days. Baker's making good decisions because he knows he has a good coaching staff behind him. When you look at Baker Mayfield in the Cleveland Browns or the Panthers, or he was kind of like thrown to the wolves. Here, good luck. Hope you find your glasses, right? Hoffy, is Baker Mayfield possibly one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Let's say top 5.
No. But what I would say is, I mean, when OBJ trusted him and his dad wasn't in the media, just being an absolute douche canoe, Baker Mayfield was playing well. I mean, when he had weapons, he had Chubb, he had Njoku, he had Landry, he had Beckham. He didn't have anything really in Carolina. You brought him over to the Rams last year. He had Cooper Kupp. He had a couple guys to play with, and now you're seeing this year, Godwin, Mike Evans. So if you put talent around Baker Mayfield, he can be a good quarterback, and he can get you some wins. And he's been impressive. He's had and as to be expected, he's had a couple games where you're like, oh, or a couple passes where you're like, oh man. But I mean, that's going to happen. That is the NFL. But yes, he has been I'm not going to say an upgrade because they had Tom Brady last year, but I do believe that he has been an upgrade as far as what they were expecting to get out of that position this year. So I don't think they were expecting to be relevant or in the race for the NFC South. But they've surprised a lot of people outside of you.
Yeah, I do concur that Baker is a good quarterback right now. Definitely not top 5 though. Richard Jones is in the chat. He says, "Do you think my Browns can win the Super Bowl?" Listen, Richard, I think anybody that can make the playoffs right now has the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. If you look at the AFC picture alone, right? Who struggles the worst against each other? The Ravens always struggle against AFC North teams in the playoffs. Now, the Browns have a great defense. When they're playing at home, they are top-notch defense. However, when they're on the road, they're ranked 30th in major stat categories on the defensive side of the ball. They're not going to have one home playoff game. However, if they can get their defense right on the road and Joe Flacco just manage the game, don't go out there and try to win me a game. Just don't lose me that game. Get a 6-3 win, 7-6 win. The Cleveland Browns can make some noise, but I don't think they can win the Super Bowl. There's too much firepower on the the NFC side, and the Browns defense won't be able to stop it. I don't think, right? Hoffy, do you think the Browns can win the Super Bowl?
Not a chance in hell.
That was easy. Not a chance in hell, he says.
I mean, unless Joe Flacco throws for, 250 plus 3 touchdowns, 2 to 3 touchdowns a game and has absolutely 0 turnovers like he did on that Baltimore Ravens run, back in his heyday. But I don't think that it's hard to win on the road. Never mind win 3 games on the road. And then you get the championship, the Super Bowl after that. So I do think if they find a way in the Super Bowl and they're playing the 49ers, they can keep it close and it will be a good game. But I think the 49ers would get their revenge off of their regular season loss to the Browns this year.
That would be nice, as long as your kicker can make a field goal. 3rd round pick, stupid pick, but hey, it is what it is. Wayne G's in like in the chat, and he says it's like Josh McDaniels, best offensive mind in the NFL, but a horrible head coach. Hoffy, was Josh McDaniels the worst head coach of all time? Not once, but twice in the NFL with the Broncos and the Raiders?
No, Urban Meyer.
Oh, touche.
But yes, he's right up there with one of the worst decisions that you could. I mean, Douche Staley. So I mean, he's on the list of topics, but no, I think there's a couple others that would take the cake over Josh McDaniels, and that's a tough thing to do. Who was the guy? Was it with the Browns that they did they go 0-16 or almost did the no the well, him too, but it was the black gentleman, and he said he was going to jump in the freaking lake the next year if they, something like that.
I don't remember.
I'll find it.
Must have been Marvin Lewis.
No.
John says, and the same team that's going to beat Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. That's not going to happen. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. But then John says they get Belichick and McDouche in L.A. Listen, the Chargers are not going to hire McDouche, as you guys call him, as a defensive coordinator and bring in Belichick. Like, Belichick's going to bring in his own people if he does come. Carson says the Cowboys were supposed to have been winning the playoffs since 1996. Listen, every team goes through a slump. Buffalo Bills, 4 straight Super Bowls. Have they been back? No, they haven't. Every team goes through a slump. It's their year, baby. It's like the 30th year anniversary of being perfect.
Hugh Jackson.
That explains it.
He went 3-36 and won.
Yeah. Ouch. Jeff says, go Texans. Hoffy, do the Texans make the playoffs?
I mean, they're in the 8th spot, outside looking in. They could. I think they have to win out because, like, the Colts and the Bengals, all these teams that are in the hunt are going to have, kind of be playing each other in one of these next 3 coming weeks. So if the Texans can win out, then yes, I think that they could make the playoffs. But they haven't been as hot as these past couple weeks. They've kind of come back down to earth. How is C.J. Stroud doing health-wise?
I heard right now he is listed as going to be out this weekend. He still hasn't cleared concussion protocol.
And they've had some injuries from their key players. One of their wide receivers.
Tank Dell,
so it's going to be it's going to be difficult, I think, for them to make the playoffs. But it's been a pretty good feel-good story for them this year, which it'd be nice to see them be rewarded and make the playoffs. But I just don't see that happening, unfortunately.
Carson thinks Baker's honestly a damn good quarterback with a shit start to his career. Listen, there was I believe, 13 years in a row, the Cleveland Browns had like 27 different quarterbacks. I saw a t-shirt where it literally went from the top to the bottom with every starting quarterback in the last 10 years, something ridiculous. Basically, the Cleveland Browns for a very, very long time where quarterbacks went to die. If you got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, you're like, my season's over. My career is over. Even though I'm a first overall pick, see you in 5 years. Baker has come out of that. And if I'm not mistaken, Baker led them to the first playoff berth and first playoff win over the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field in 30 plus years. So I was honestly very upset for Baker when the Cleveland Browns decided to move on from him and bring in Deshaun Watson. Obviously, that has benefited both parties, I guess, in a roundabout way, but we'll see what
so from 1999, from week 11 of 99, from 1999 through week 11 of the 2023 season, the Cleveland Browns have started 37 different quarterbacks.
Wow.
Only 3 seasons, 2001, 2019, and 2020. 2001 was with Tim Couch as their quarterback. 2019 and 2020, they had Baker Mayfield. Those are the only 3 seasons where they started the same quarterback every game.
Wow, that's tough. My man Ann is in the chat. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams make it to the NFC Championship game. McVay has always been a pretty good coach, IMO. Their offense can put up points, and Stafford has proven he can win a championship. It would not surprise me either if the Rams made an NFC Championship game. It would not surprise me one bit if the Rams play the San Francisco 49ers Week 18, win that game, play the 49ers in the second round of the playoffs, and beat them again. Back-to-back losses to the Rams to end the season to the 49ers fans. That would not surprise me one bit. Not one bit, Hoffy. You're shaking your head in disagreement. Obviously, you're like 49ers. 49ers. I'm a homer. Waffle this. Legitimately, can the Rams make a Super Bowl run if they do not go into the 49ers or run into the 49ers?
I mean, their first game might very well be a homecoming for Stafford in Detroit. So, what better way to, kind of get those juices flowing, get that, go up there, throw for 300+ yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and then just ride that momentum through. But I could see them beating any team. They don't play the 49ers well, regardless of LA, San Francisco. I think it's going to be a tough task for really anyone to beat the 49ers, especially at home. So I could see them definitely making the NFC Championship. I think the NFC is wide open, and that really kind of includes the 49ers. I think the 49ers get to the NFC Championship game, but at that point, that NFC Championship game is going to be a toss-up as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like the AFC still wins the Super Bowl because the NFC is so wide open that they're going to have to battle every game. Like there's going to be no like rest in the last 5-6 minutes of a game. Jim's back in the chat, and like he says, what I miss? I was milking ducks. You missed Hoffy getting schooled by a 12-year-old playing basketball. Him and Carson Ling are best friends.
Pretty sure he's not 12. The dude's like already got the receding hairline. He's balding. He needs to just be like me and fucking bick it.
So my man Carson, me and Carson played softball together for a very, very long time. We were in a 48-hour tournament up in Onega, Kansas. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Worst.
I freaking love those things. But it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We just got done, or we were all drinking, having a grand old time, walking up the hill to go play softball. And we're like, where's Carson? Oh, he's over there on the basketball court. And he gets crossed over by this 12-year-old, and Carson breaks his ankle. It's like, oh, I can't play softball no more. Well, dude, got crossed up by a 12-year-old. Get out of here. But Carson will tell you that he got pushed. He got crossed up. Wayne G says Flacco will cost the Browns in the playoffs. Playoffs? I think the Browns defense will cost the Browns in the playoffs because the Browns defense sucks on the road. They're literally 30th on road defense. They are not very good. Not very good. The best moinker I ever heard about the Browns is the mistake by the lake. Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong. Go through some more of these comments here. If Bill Belichick goes anywhere, which he is not, says Wayne G, he's bringing McDaniels and Mayo. Touche. Jeff says Watson is trash.
There it is at the bottom, Buck.
Hoffy, is Watson trash?
He's not worth what they're paying him, but he'd been suspended, and NFL is all about the reps, so he was kind of finally coming back into his zone before the injury. So no, I don't think he's trash. Is he a top 5 quarterback? No. Is he a top 10? That could be debatable, but even that might be very questionable. But he's
mid-tier quarterback.
He's a viable quarterback.
Viable in the fact that sex predators are being. I'm sorry, I can't say that.
He's not a sex predator just because he likes a happy ending.
Which allegedly. John says, "How old were you guys in 1999?" I was in 6th grade. I was 12.
I was 9.
There you go. We were still sucking on our mama's titties.
Carson Lang has defended himself.
I told you. So Carson says that tourney is a drunk fest. I was pushed from behind in the air, but our team was already out of that tournament. See, I told you.
Sounds like a bunch of excuses to me.
It was pushed. All right, guys, it is Thursday edition here of Man Hour Radio, guys. Keep the comments coming in. This is a live interactive show. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that like button. Of course, share this with a couple friends as well. But here on Thursdays, Hoffy, we like to do a little bit of fact mixed in with a little bit of crap. I've been putting some feeders out there on the old interwebs. I've been doing my troll mode engage, and I'm going to finally convince you guys whether this statement is a fact or it is indeed a crap statement. Hoffy, are you ready to play a little bit of fact or crap?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought you were going to play a sound effects. It's like you were waiting for it.
I was attempting.
You were attempting to. Wow. You got one more for me? There you go. All right, that's crap. So, guys, as you guys know by now, the Dallas Cowboys, the best team in the NFL, are traveling to Miami this week to play the Miami Dolphins. Right now, they're currently sitting second in the NFC playoff picture. However, they do not control their own destiny in the NFC East. If they win out and the Eagles win out, they default still get the 5th overall seed because the Eagles get like the 7th tiebreaker to be in the AFC East crown. So, Hoffy, I got to ask you this question first. Is this game versus the Miami Dolphins a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys? Fact or crap?
Yes, I think the Dallas Cowboys need to win this game. You know, we've looked at the Eagles. We've looked at both schedules. The Eagles have a pretty cupcake schedule. I don't think they're going to. You know, they might cough up one of the games with how they've been playing. But Dallas is going to have to, I believe, win out because if they, they lose one game, they basically are guaranteed to be a wild card spot. And I think that in order to be the potent offense that they can be, they need to be at home on the turf. So yes, I think that this is an absolute must-win game for the Dallas Cowboys.
So you are indeed saying this is a fact that they must win this game.
I'd say it's a must-win for both teams because if Miami loses, Week 17 is right around the corner, and I don't know that they're gonna. I get they've, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season, but with the way the Bills are playing right now, they might come in and just wax that ass and take that AFC East.
Yeah, a very good possibility, but I think this is a lot more important game for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it is indeed a fact. This is a fact that this is a must-win game for the Dallas Cowboys. Not because of the playoffs. They're already in the playoffs. They are already locked into the playoffs. They can still, in theory, get the 1st overall seed, but I don't think I think it could happen, but I don't think it will happen. They could, in theory, get the first, win the NFC East. It could happen, but I don't think it is going to happen. So basically, this is a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys because they need to learn. They need to prove to themselves that they can play/win on the road. It is not about the winning aspect of the game. It is not the, we need to go out there and dominate a good team aspect. It is the aspect that we need to go on the road and we need to prove to ourselves, prove to our coach, prove to our fans that we can go on the road and win. Because the road for them to the Super Bowl is more than likely going to be on the road. That is traveling to Tampa Bay, and that could be traveling to San Francisco, and then it could be traveling to Philadelphia, right? They are going to have to go on the road 3 straight games to make it to the playoffs, so they need this win. So this is indeed a fact that they need to win this game. John People says, crap. This is not a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys. They don't need to win this game. It doesn't matter. It is a complete crap, he says, and they don't. He says the Finns win 34-27. Okay, John. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, but you never know. Sunny southern Florida there. It could be raining. It could be 100 degrees. You know, it could be magic. Carson thinks the Cowboys are going to win. I feel the Buffalo Bill syndrome is coming out a little bit there, Carson. But it is what it is. Jim says, crap. On the road means the Cowboys are camping in Brokeback Mountain with the Broncos. This is why it is a fact, because the Cowboys need to prove themselves that they need to win, or they can win on the road. John says the Eagles have another loss coming. Yeah, it's this week versus the Giants. It is this week for the Giants. So moving on to the next one here, Coffee. Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is still in concussion protocol and more than likely will miss this week's game. Given their playoff chances kind of a little punch in the groin, as they might say. But, Hoffy, is it a fact or is it a crap that the Jacksonville Jaguars are nothing without Trevor Lawrence? They are a bad team without Trevor Lawrence. Fact or crap?
They don't have a Browning like Cincinnati has. They don't have, a Sam Darnold like San Francisco has, where you could just plug them in. And I mean, obviously, it's a little bit of a downgrade from what you're getting from Brock Purdy. But no, I don't think that their backup quarterback is able to go out there. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is a game changer, but Trevor Lawrence has played well, and he is the engine that that moves that football team. So yes, after this week, either the Colts or the Texans will be in first place in the AFC South.
Yeah, and the correct answer would be the Indianapolis Colts there, as they do play the Brown. No, they play the Bengals this week, right? Yeah. But with that being said, are the Jacksonville Jaguars nothing without Trevor Lawrence? Are they just a below average team? Are they a crap team? I'm going to have to say crap, because Trevor Lawrence is a decent quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that could possibly win you some games. But right now, Trevor Lawrence is trying to do just a little bit too much. He is trying to do his little best impression of, I don't know, let's say Patrick Mahomes. He is not no Patrick Mahomes. Trevor Lawrence is fumbling the ball. He throws costly interceptions, and he cannot score in the red zone. Maybe, just maybe, with the backup quarterback in C.J. Beathard, right? Maybe that the Jacksonville Jaguars can get down to running the ball. Maybe they can use and abuse Travis Etienne. Maybe they can use and abuse D'Ernest Johnson. Maybe they can use and abuse Tank Bigsby, right? Get back to running the damn ball. And that's what will make you successful in the playoffs, is being able to run the ball and play defense. That is what the Jacksonville Jaguars can and will do if Trevor Lawrence is not there. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Hoffy, that the Jacksonville Jaguars look a little bit more dangerous without Trevor Lawrence on the field.
Oh, Jesus.
I would say that Trevor Lawrence lists, right, without Trevor Lawrence on the field, they might win a playoff game. They might. Trevor Lawrence will cost in the playoff game, just like the Browns, or just like Joe Flacco, like Wayne G said. They might cost him the game.
The Jaguars will not win a playoff game without Trevor Lawrence. They're likely to not win a playoff game with Trevor Lawrence unless they get to play the Chargers and Deuce Staley's their coach.
Well, that's not going to happen. So John says fact.
That answers that then.
John says fact. The Trevor Lawrence, that the Jacksonville Jaguars need some Trevor Lawrence. Carson said the Jags aren't even a really good team with Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a lot of pieces, right? They have Calvin Ridley, Jay Jones. They have Agnew. They have Evan Ingram. They got a little bit of Josh Allen on the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot of pieces, right? But it is almost as if those pieces don't quite fit together. You know, when you're doing a puzzle and you think a piece sticks together and it goes in there, but there's just like that little bit of a gap. That's kind of like how I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They're trying to force pieces together, and just something just isn't quite there. Hoffy, am I kind of on the right path with that? Like they have pieces, they have parts, but they're just not quite there.
Yeah, I mean, the comment from WB Ant basically hits the nail on the head. You have Ridley, you have Ingram, you had Kirk. I know he's injured now. You have ETN. I mean, you have all the weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and I don't think that Trevor Lawrence has produced the numbers that a number one overall pick should be able to produce. Never mind, should be able to produce with that, with those weapons. And then you have some hogs on the defense in Allen, and they have a couple other players, but I know XD Gamer or Jason, whatever the hell his name is, has talked about, we're haters and his defense is top notch. Yes, they're not giving up a lot of points, but they're giving up a bunch of yards. And come playoff time, those teams are going to capitalize on those yards and on those drives. So, yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, playoff is a different animal. People get just a little bit more locked in, and it's a win or go home time, and that makes a good team very, very dangerous. Jim says it is crap. They are crap with him too. XD Gamer, looking at you, kid. Ugh. Shots fired. Shots fired. Ant says exactly, Hoffy. You nailed it. Nailed it right on the head. Jim says they're decorating Lawrence's nose like lights under Louisville for Christmas. Wow. Okay. And Ant says their defense is overrated. I think their defense gets exposed a lot because Trevor Lawrence cannot complete red zone opportunities. Was it with the Chiefs, right? They drove down into the red zone like 3 or 4 times and they didn't get one touchdown. It's like, so if Trevor Lawrence and the guys can like capitalize on red zone opportunities, maybe their defense won't be so exposed and therefore overrated. But guys, the last factor crap of the show here before we got to go see Mr. St. Nick. My man's asking for some Ninja Turtles, so he has to go sit on Santa Claus' lap and ask for it. But Hoffy, the Detroit Lions have been a team that many people are saying they are a Super Bowl caliber team. They're winning the North. They're going to go do some damage in the playoffs. They're going to be biting kneecaps and ripping off Barbie heads and spitting them out. But Hoffy, I got to ask this question. Fact or crap, in the NFC playoff picture, are the Detroit Lions the least dangerous team in the playoffs?
You said in the NFC?
In the NFC.
I still think whoever wins the NFC South is going to be the least dangerous team in the playoffs. But I don't think any team going into Detroit is going to be scared. Yes, their offense has been top 5, but their defense, which is supposed to kind of be their bread and butter, has not been good. I think they're like ranked at number 18th or something like that in the league as far as defense. So I still think the NFC South is going to be the most overrated team. But no, the Detroit Lions would be the second most overrated NFC playoff team.
So you are saying crap, just like people in the chat are saying crap as well. John is saying crap. Carson Lang is saying crap. The Cowboys are the least dangerous team, especially if they go on the road. But when I look at the Detroit Lions, for the last 5-6 weeks, Hoffy, ever since they played the Chicago Bears, actually since they played the Las Vegas Raiders, I have been saying that this team looks like a team that is a satisfied team. This is a team that looks like they are okay with just being kind of just good enough, right? Yes, they did beat the Raiders, beat the Chargers, they beat the Bears. But since Thanksgiving Day, they lost to the Packers. They beat the Saints after they had to get a last-second touchdown to win that game after being up 21-0. Then they lost to the Bears, and then they beat down the Denver Broncos last week, 42-17. The Detroit Lions, Hoffy, they might be the most dangerous team in the NFC playoffs. They might be the team that is the hungriest because they have kind of gone on this skid a little bit, right? They are going to have to beat the Vikings and the Cowboys to win their division, right? They are going to be battle tested. They're going to be ready, and they're going to be hungry, ready to bite kneecaps. And I disagree with you. Any team that has to go to Ford Field, for one, Ford Field is just obnoxiously loud. There is always just this loud humming in the stadium. Back when I went there, I think 2019, when the Kansas City Chiefs played the Detroit Lions, it was just a consistent roar, and it was just freaking annoying. I'm like, shut up. Like, it was just like, damn, right? But I think the Detroit Lions are the most dangerous team because they have released a running back by the name of Gibbs. Gibbs no longer has training wheels on. This man is going over BMX jumps, is doing some backflips now. Gibbs is the man. That's why they're dangerous. You were shaking your head in disagreement. What do you disagree with?
Ford Field was really roaring on Thanksgiving night. How'd that go?
I believe they had a little dribble run down their leg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just like they will in the playoffs. I mean, I'll take the Eagles. I trust the Eagles more than I trust the Lions in the playoffs, and the Eagles are coming off of 3 straight losses. So I don't think that the Lions are the most dangerous team in the NFC, regardless of, what happens here.
So let's go ahead and jump back into the comments here before we head out. Jim Powell says, fact, even Baker Mayfield has a better shot, but Hoff is greater than Mahomes, O'Connell, and Herbert. I think he meant Jared Goff.
Damn right I am.
I think he meant Jared Goff.
No, I think he meant me.
And John,
speaking straight facts.
And John says, think Chicago Cubs. I think every time the Chicago Cubs make the playoffs, they seem to go to the World Series like it seems like. I don't know. Ant says, I agree with Hoffy. Plus, when was the last time the Detroit Lions had a playoff game? I don't know, 99 maybe. Back in the Barry Sanders era, and their defense couldn't stop any of those offenses in the playoffs, especially San Francisco. And then John says they are overdue. And then Hoffy is spitting facts. Man, what is all this love for Hoffy? Jesus. That's all right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I have the best damn co-host ever here on Man Hour Radio.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Greatness, baby. This guy is greatness. But guys, that is going to be it for Thursday edition here. We do have the Rams take on the Saints tonight. We'll be posting game threads tonight. Guys, talk that shit in the game thread. We have scoring updates. We'll have polls. We'll have all types of stuff. Get interactive on that Facebook post here. Probably the next, 3 hours or so. I will post it. But Hoffy, who do you got tonight? Rams?
I've been saying all
Saints?
year that I think this is the Saints to win the NFC South, but I was not expecting them to run into a team like the Rams tonight. So I think that my aspirations of the Saints winning the South might go down the drains tonight when the Rams win.
Yeah, the Saints have been so bipolar, right? Tie.
Don't do that, Bobby Boucher.
No. Give me the LA Rams. I like the Rams at home. I think the Rams are playing some good football right now. We're both taking Rams. Playoff bound LA Rams. Super Bowl bound LA Rams. Hoffy, send us out.